Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure vehicle review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Batman and Robin movie Batmobile. I pre-ordered this from the McFarlane toy store. It arrived today, so let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see, this is from Batman and Robin, that awful movie with George Clooney. DC Multiverse Batmobile. Here's a look at the car. It's a one-seater, and it's actually supposed to be this time. Here are the measurements, and it has action features such as sounds and lights. Ages 12 plus. Here's the front of the box. Here's the top of the box. Back of the box, pretty much the same thing. You can see a couple of action features such as holding the figure. At the bottom, there is a barcode, if that helps anybody. So with no further ado, let's open it up. And as always, I did get two of these Batmobiles. One of which to open and enjoy, the other one to keep unopened in my complete Batman-related unopened action figure collection. Alright, now that this vehicle out of the package, here it is with all the accessories laid out in front of you. We have a couple of fins, two alternate hands for the George Clooney Batman, gripping hands for the steering wheel, and a collector's card. This thing is very glossy, which is fairly accurate to the film. In the film, everything was really shiny, bright, lights, all that good stuff. So far, it looks absolutely gorgeous. Let's take a quick look at the accessories. We have a collector's card, Batmobile from Batman and Robin. On the back, there's a little description. If you want to read that, pause now. And then we also have these two alternate gripping hands for the George Clooney Batman. That is a nice little touch there, because I believe he had two fisted hands. And now we have the car. Let's go ahead and pop those fins on and check it out. So there you have it. Simple assembly, two fins attached, and bam, the car is put together. Now, a lot of people love this design. The design itself is okay, but some of the stuff is just so impractical. The fact that it has no canopy is kind of ridiculous. Leaves Batman very vulnerable. The fact that it's a one-seater, I mean, kind of odd for a movie that focused on team-ups. And it just has all these lights and Batman stuff all over it. That's a little impractical as well. I mean, it's like transparent, and you have lights. It's almost like, you know, some of those gamer computers nowadays. Just saying, it does look cool, but it's so impractical that it's kind of ridiculous, which fits the whole theme of the film. So let's take a closer look. The front here, kind of got orange around there, transparent. Presumably the lights will shine through that. It's got this extra stuff at the front. I don't know, makes it sort of look like spikes. I guess to be able to go through ice, like a battering ram with the hole across the front here. Kind of cool. In the movie, I believe that thing was like sort of spinning the whole time. The wheels, they have the Batman logo, and it's specifically the Batman and Robin movie logo. I don't think Batman would put his logo on his hubcaps. The engine looks fantastic. Look at that. Looks great. I love the transparent, how glossy it is, how sleek it is. Very well done. The back wheels, same kind of thing. They have rubber on the outside. They move together, but front and back independently. And then we have his exhaust in the back. He's got 6 of them. The car can go very, very fast. Here's the button that turns the lights on and off. The 2 fins. It's all just very glossy, very sleek. Here's inside the cockpit. We have a really nice sticker that gives him tons and tons of control. One-seater, which is actually accurate. And it has a steering wheel for him to hold. At the bottom of the car, it's pretty flat, but it does have plenty of detail, including the Batman symbol here. This is where you'll take the batteries out. Now let's check out the measurements of this thing. As far as how long it is, from one side to the other, about 20 inches long. As far as how tall it is, about 4 inches here. And as far as how wide it is, about 8 inches wide. Now to check out the action features of this car. There's really about 3 things that it does. Number 1, the wheel spin. Number 2, it holds a figure. And number 3, it has lights and sounds. In front of you is the George Clooney Batman by McFarlane. They released 2 versions. Number 1 is a wide release with a rubber cape. That one's on the left, part of the Build-A-Figure wave. And to the right, we have the cloth cape version for the movie 6-pack. When I found out the release of this car, I thought, are they going to come with a Cloth cape version of George Clooney, because most people don't have the six-pack. Is the rubber cape one going to fit? I imagine he will, because that's one that most people have. But let's take a look. Here's the George Clooney Batman with the rubber cape in the car. Boy, that was not easy. That cape is rubber, and it's just getting stuck to the material the car's made out of, and it's really hard to push him down in there. You can get him in there pretty nicely. He looks okay like this. And pretty much any Batman figure will fit if you can get the bottom half in there, because there's no canopy to shut. They're intended to stick out. But I had to sort of wrap the cape around his legs and kind of guide it there, make sure it wasn't caught at the bottom. It was not easy. And if you leave him in there, it's just going to freaking bunch the cape up. I kind of took the cape, kind of did this, and then push it down. The bottom kept getting caught. I had to sort of help it in there. At one point, just gave up and shoved the rest of the way in there. Giant cape. Not easy to fit in there. So his legs go in there just fine, but the cape just gets stuck, and you have to shove it in there, and that looks horrible. So take him, kind of wrap it around there, try to make sure you get past the steering wheel, then the bottom's getting caught, help kind of work it through. It is not easy to do. Let's get him down there, and it's about the best you can do with the rubber cape version, which is what most people have. And of course, the cloth cape version fits in there. Super easy, just fine. He's got the cloth soft goods cape. Put him in, just kind of help as if it's not all bunched up. Bam, slides right in. So most definitely, this is the better Batman figure for this Batmobile. Like I said, most people have the other version. And let's talk about those hands for a second. Probably should have swapped them out before I put him in the driver's seat. Now, you can't just pull the old hands off. You actually have to heat them up, soften them up to swap them out. And it's one of the harder hand swaps because they were never really meant to come out. It wants to pull the entire sort of peg out between the forearm and the hand. It can be done, just pain in the ass. I just put them in some boiling water for a little bit. We'll try to pull it out. Had to put them back in, pulled out again, put these on. Bam, here you go. I chose to give the gripping hands to the Batman with the cloth soft goods cape because that's one that'll be in the car more often for me. Way easier and better fit. I don't know why they gave George Clooney fists on both release. In fact, I think in the movie pack they all had fists, and I would have much preferred gripping hands like this. They didn't give us any bat gadgets for these guys for this movie, and that's a disappointment. Here's a look at the Clooney Batman in the driver's seat with the right hands on, gripping the steering wheel. And so we've seen the wheel spin. We've put the Batman figure into the driver's seat. Now, for the final and coolest action feature, the lights and sounds. There's a button on the back here. Simply press it. You can hear the car starting up, and then it sounds like sort of shutting off. Lights are fantastic, very bright, lit up all over the car. And if you hit it a second time, it'll simply turn the lights on with no sound, and it stays on for, I don't know, about 15 seconds. Very cool. So here are the light up effects in a fully lit room, and then here in a semi-lit room. And finally, in a completely dark room. Bright lights. Looks awesome. Here's the Kenner Batmobile next to the McFarlane version. That Kenner one looked a little big for that shot. Here's a top view, just so you can see the size differences. Here's a look at Batman at the Batmobile, with Alfred, Robin, and Batgirl giving him a send-off. And here's a look at Batman driving through the gates of Arkham Asylum, just dropped off Mr. Freeze. Now let's check it out, next to some other Batmobiles. Here's the McFarlane Batman Robin Batmobile, next to the Kenner Batman and Robin Batmobile. And here it is, next to the Michael Keaton 89 Batmobile, which they made two versions of, one for the Flash movie, and one for the 89 film. And here, next to the Batman Forever Batmobile, which they also made two versions of, lights and sounds, and glow in the dark. Then, next to the Dark Knight Tumbler, which they made two versions of. And now, next to the White Knight Batmobile. And here, with the recent Batman Beyond Batmobile. Here are all the different Batmobiles they've made in their Multiverse line. These are all for the 7-inch scale and part of the DC Multiverse line. Yes, they made the Batman the Animated Series Batmobile, but it's actually for a smaller scale. Look at that. Never thought I'd see the day. It looks fantastic. Looks like a bunch of Hot Wheels, but no, these will fit your action figures. And what do you guys think is next? My guess is the Batman vs Superman Batmobile with probably a gold label Justice League variant. Eventually they'll probably do the 66 Batmobile and the Pattinson Batmobile. And what else do you think they'll do? I don't think they'll do the animated vehicle on this scale. They could do a ton more comic versions. Nightfall is one I really hope to see. And there are different animated versions they could do. The New Batman Adventures, The Batman, Beware the Batman, Brave the Bold. I mean, they could go and mine this thing forever. There's the old school Golden Age Batmobile with the big symbol on the front. Keep them coming. And of course, beyond Batmobiles, there are so many other vehicles we need. I don't see any reason they won't make the Robin Redbird motorcycle from Batman and Robin. McFarlane loves to make their motorcycles. We need an 89 Batwing. Batman Forever Batwing and Batboat. I don't really want the ice vehicles at the end of Batman and Robin, but I'd sure buy them. The Batcopter and the 66 line. Just so many cool things coming out. So many cool things we need and want, and McFarlane seems to be covering us on a lot of them. Here it is, next to the Batmobeast. Not exactly a Batmobile, but not too far off either. Here's a look at my cat Mulder. And then we have Mama here, investigating the new addition to the household. And here it is, next to the DC Direct Batman the Animated Series Batmobile and Jokermobile. Here it is, next to the Mattel Creations Hot Wheels Batmobile from the Batman. Then, next to both Mattel's and McFarlane's version of the Adam West Batmobile. And now, next to the Mattel DC Multiverse Justice League Batmobile. This is the Multiverse version, not the Ultimate Radio-Controlled version. And finally, next to the Mattel 2005 comic Batmobile. Now I want to check out some more Batman figures in this Batmobile. I took some of the most 3 standard Multiverse Batman figures that I have. The Hush Batman, Nightfall Batman, and the Rebirth Batman. And tried to put each one in the car. End result, Hush Batman would not fit. Cape is just way too wide, way too big. Kept being snagged and everything. Nightfall Batman actually did give him a fit. Wrapped the cape around his legs, similar to the George Clooney Batman. And the Rebirth Batman. This cape is a little bit thicker and harder. You can't move it as well, so I just couldn't get him in there either. Pretty sure any of these Batman figures would fit if they had cloth soft goods capes. It's just the capes that are prohibiting me from getting them all the way in there. Now I wanted to check out some different action figures in this Batmobile. Some Batman figures from various companies and see which ones fit. And the truth is, pretty much anything's going to fit in here, as long as the cape allows it to. Start off with the largest Batman figures I collect. Here's a Batfleck Fonjoy in there. I did take his cape off. I would suggest against shoving anything in there with a cloth wired cape. You might bunch it up, mess it up. Fonjoy, complete clearance. Here's a DC Direct Batman figure in the car. Even with his sort of hard plastic cape, I was able to kind of guide it in there, if it's no problem. Here's a NECA Batman in this car. No problem. Here's a Mezco Batman in the car. Also, no problem. And even though the cape makes him look a little bit weird, DC Universe Classics fit in there. Just had to kind of bend the plastic cape. Here's a Mafex Batman figure. Also fits complete ease. And finally, an SH Figure Arts Batman figure. Maybe a little bit undersized, but still looks okay. Here's a look at McFarlane's entire Batman and Robin movie collection. We have Mr. Freeze, Poison Ivy, a couple versions of Batman, Alfred, Robin, and Batgirl, and then of course the Batmobile. Now they could make additional versions of each of the characters. Mr. Freeze had more than one look, so did Poison Ivy. They could make Batman in his endgame ice suit, which is similar to the sonar suit from Batman Forever. Robin and Batgirl in their final fight suits. Alfred is technically from Batman Forever, but he looked exactly the same in both films. What they really need to give us is Bane. I wouldn't mind Robin's motorcycle as well. There's still more stuff they could do before I consider this movie complete. And rumor is the next releases are going to be a blacklight version of Mr. Freeze, and then a frostbite version of Batman, which makes perfect sense for this collection. So overall, This is a very nice looking Batmobile. I'm not the biggest fan of the original design, as just the missing canopy alone is stupid. All the lights and stuff, it looks kind of cool, but none of it is practical. But it translates to a pretty cool action figure vehicle. Super glossy, super sleek. It looks super nice. If I were to rate this thing, probably 7, 7.5, that sort of area. I mean, it looks great. McFarlane didn't design the original Batmobile. They just translated action figure form and did a pretty damn good job. I will end it at a 7.5, and maybe I'm underrating it. I don't know. It looks really nice, and I'm happy to add it to the collection. Look forward to a day when we have the Batmobile from each of the different films lined out in front of you. So this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add it in the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure vehicle and action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.